Welcome to our verbal feedback session. We are the one community group for River Valley Church. So here we go.
Let's get rolling.
Started with Hamna. She was really great to work with. You were really great to work with. I'm so glad I got to know you.
Really
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think first of all, you're super fun to be around, and you brought a lot of energy, whether that was sugar or caffeine induced or not. But we still appreciate it either way. I think a point of critique is like something I think we can all work on is being able to direct our focus when we do get off topic. Because I think sometimes it was easy for us to get inside conversations instead of being focused on the task. But so that's one area that I think you can improve on. But overall, you definitely added a lot to this group because you're just fun to be around.
Well, thank you, Margaret. I appreciate the feedback. I think that through your points of improvement, I can learn to maybe focus on one task at a time instead of thinking about the whole picture. And maybe that will help me and the rest of the group focus clearer.
Also, maybe this just gets me, but a second to be all right, let's set a time frame. Maybe that could be something moving forward. Okay, let's until this time work on the task and then take a break to
Creating a daily schedule, maybe?
Yeah.
Or a group schedule.
Yeah.
Even just for our meetings, our whole group in general, I feel like we kind of needed to
we'd have a start time, but we won't really have a stop time.
Kind of like we do for the tasks in class, even that would have been really
We could
helpful for our group.
If we create an agenda with a basis by okay, by 5:45, whatever, we should have this much done.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would help.
Help with side conversations.
Nice.
So then another thing that I think you did well, Hamna, was you set an example of how to come in right, and you brought a lot of outside ideas. You were very open-minded through everything.
You definitely had. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
You definitely had the most difficult position coming into this project because we were all exposed to the Christian church and you were not.
Yeah.
And first of all, your openness and willingness to be a part of that community was really admirable, and also your ability to come in right and get something out of the project and offer insight into that to the rest of us was really valuable.
Yeah, I would say it was also helpful, just you bringing new ideas to our group. A point for improvement, I would say, would probably be, just kind of what Margaret said with getting off track, or if there was even conflict, sometimes it would be harder to communicate for you and for our group. So,
Yeah, and then I really appreciate, as a group, when we went to the Hole for one of the River Valley sermons, how you guys, made sure, Margaret especially, I didn't know what one of the words meant, so I was just what does this mean? And she explained it to us, or explained it to me, and even Hannah was welcome, blah, blah, this is what church is like, and stuff, so I really appreciate that.
In case you know video, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
This is your package.
I'd also like to just add one point of praise for Hamna. I felt I don't know if this was said yet, but as far as coming in right, I felt you really came in right to this situation and coming into the church, not necessarily being a Christian believer, but approaching it with an open mind, like Hannah had said, and putting aside any maybe projections that you might have had about the church, and whether or not you had those or not afterwards, you didn't let that show, and I thought that was really cool. So.
I think you really had you added a lot to this project because you were able to notice things that we might have not because we grew up with it or were used to it. So from more of an observation, outsider view, and that was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So the next person we'll talk about is Megan. So Megan, I really appreciated about how organized you were during when we were making all the documents and the slides and stuff like that. You always made sure everyone knew what was going on with all the documents and labeled everything and made sure everyone was on track. And I think overall, especially when we were making our PowerPoint, you did a really good job bringing in like pictures and documents. And I know that's not always everyone's strength, and you did a really good job making it creative. Is that working?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good.
That's it.
Just
making sure it's going.
Oh, there
Okay,
we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
still down, yeah.
Thanks for that. Like, I don't know. I try to be like creative, and sometimes I don't feel like it's noticed. So having that be acknowledged is always really nice.
And then one thing I noticed you could have done a little bit more was, I think you have a lot of really good ideas, and maybe brought it up with the group a little bit more, projected your opinion. But overall, I think that you did a really good job with everyone and listening to everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And again, that was actually something from the complexity project that they said is like I could have voiced my opinions more, taken more of a lead. So just realizing that I really need to work on that more and more, I guess.
Just to echo that, the one thing you were really good at was communicating. So communicating in the group me, especially, I think that's something you did really well at. Which is like seems silly, but it's actually like a really good skill. So like be able to like be in touch with people even when you can't be together.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you sent us that message like, hey, I added a couple slides or some images, I like went on there and was like, wait, this is amazing. This is so good. Like took our project from like here to here. So that was great.
You.
And thank you for also following up with that communication in the group meet that time and throughout the whole project. So I think timeliness is something that like we all struggle with sometimes.
Yes.
And so maybe working on like setting a timer on your phone, for example, when it's like you need to leave so that you'll be able to arrive on time could help with timeliness.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I struggle with that. I was late to that one meeting. Totally my bad, but I'll definitely have to work on just being on time better.
Well, I get that, so it's okay.
Also, you're just like a very artsy person, and you should be like a graphic design minor or something. Like, I think that you just really strive in that area.
Thank you.
Also, you're a good person. I don't feel like we captured that. But you're just a good person, so like, thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think Megan, I can't see myself having a conflict with about anything. She's just super like down to earth and makes sure everyone is happy.
Oh, sure. Thank you, everyone.
All right. So now we'll talk about Hannah. So first of all, Hannah offered us a place to meet for all of our group meetings. Here we are in her apartment.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So that was really nice of her because sometimes it's hard to find a spot where we can all meet. But yeah, so that's definitely positive. And then she definitely did a good job of making her presence clear during our conversations. Like within the group discussions, adding good input and insight into certain portions, like as far as like the observations and interpretations report, and getting ready to work on the the presentation as well. I felt like Hannah did a good job at just giving good input, and also you weren't afraid to ask questions if you got stuck at any point. I think we all did a pretty good job of that, so yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you.
But going off that, like, it was so nice being able to have someone, like, we'd be like, where would we meet? And you always offered your place, which was so nice and, like,
And as far
helped
as
so much.
yeah, and as far as maybe just a few things to work on, just maybe try to stay on track if we start getting into like maybe some side conversations or just laughing a lot,
Yeah.
which is
Something
good.
that
I
I need
mean,
to work on.
laughing's good, but it's just small things, I guess. Yeah, so.
Well, thank you for that. Okay, so would you say the best way to go about that would be kind of like what Margaret was talking about with like for our whole group, like scheduling out times to like make sure we have things completed, or like what are some other things that you would recommend?
As far as within, like
being able to not get off topic. Like how can I like stay focused better?
I think, holding yourself accountable, like within the moment, but also, I don't know. It's kind of, exact action.
I think it's hard for our group because we all need to work on that. But like, this wasn't more of a group project, but like we kind of like hang out when we work together, so we do get off track a lot. So definitely the agenda thing that was mentioned earlier would probably help us.
Yeah,
Especially in the future.
Yeah, it was more of a group thing. I think we all had our moments where, we started laughing or whatever, and it's like, we were lucky to have such a inclusive environment that everyone felt welcomed and loved. But yeah, I think it's just something as a group we probably have to work on it. That's just something that you can try with making an agenda and stuff, but I think it's also self-control.
Yeah, it needs to come
Yeah.
naturally in some sort.
Yeah, but some other things you were really good at is you were always super present in the group message, and you always communicated very well with the whole group, like one in the group message, but also like after class you would kind of like talk to us, and so we could figure things out. And in our group meetings you always had really good ideas that you brought up. And yeah, but one thing I would say you could work on is you do procrastinate a tiny bit, especially on the presentation slides. I think it was like last minute, but you did get it done, just working on getting it done sooner, I guess.
Right, yeah. Okay, thank you for that. So procrastination is something that I've kind of always struggled with since I was like small. Are there any like pointers or techniques that you use or that you could give me to use? I'm like constantly trying to fix that issue.
I like plan out my whole life on a Google Calendar basically.
Okay.
So I'm just like set times like, oh, I should do this much on this night and stuff. That works for me, but I guess everyone's different.
I think another good one is like I use reminders on my phone. I need to transition to a Google Calendar. That's one other conversation. But reminders are good because they pop up and you can just reset the time on them and they'll come back again. But it'll keep showing up, so it's kind of a way of reminding yourself, and it annoys you to the point where it'll actually like force you into action and make you be
It's like me in the morning with my alarm.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Sounds good. Thank you. So next we'll be talking about what Margaret brought to the group and some points of improvement. In general, I would just say that you were like the best communicator. Like you were always on top of your stuff. You organized the one-to-ones and figured out all the different events that our group was able to attend. I just think that in general you're like an amazing person and you're gonna go far and like be able to help others and help others kind of like plan things out and be there for others. I don't know, it was really great to see how like passionate you were about the community that we did our project on, and it was kind of contagious. Like Chris and I went to another night of the church after we were done with this project, and we'll probably continue to go next year. So I don't know, this whole thing was just like a really positive experience, and I think that is stuff from you. So good job with that. I guess if I like had to point out some pointers for you, I would say I don't even know. Like honestly, maybe just like some little communication things, like getting back quicker in the group message, reminding people when and where we're meeting. But other than that, I think you were just an awesome group partner. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that the communication piece shows up sometimes. Like, I'll be really on top of it at some point, and then like it'll fall off for a second. And so I think like that consistency, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Following through with that.
Yeah. and a few other points here. Obviously, present at every event. You were a liaison. You did a great job. Did I say that correctly?
No.
Liaison.
Liaison.
I know. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, but yeah, and you put a lot of effort into the whole project, especially the presentation part with organizing that video at the beginning. I thought that was really cool. Just kind of like set the mood for the presentation a little bit. And you also had the great idea to be engaging and creative during the presentation while welcoming people into the room, whether or not they wanted to shake your hands is a whole other conversation. But, so yeah, and then you always seem to leave room for dissent. You wanted to hear everyone's ideas, so I know that came about multiple times in our discussions when we would meet. Yeah, I mean, as far as things to work on, like
that's so hard for you, like.
Margaret's just an angel.
No, you were honestly like such a great liaison because I was confused about like which events we were attending and stuff, and you went and wrote it down on a piece of paper, like clearly laid out everything and sent it in the group, and I was like, okay, perfect. Like it was like a cheat sheet, and you were just at all events, like super excited for us to enter the community, which I think made it more welcoming for us. And yeah,
I think being a liaison is probably one of the harder jobs because you have to, bring people into your community, and that can be kind of uncomfortable sometimes. And the one-to-ones we had, I don't think you just picked random people. I feel like you picked like Hannah and Maida. They were.
yeah.
We're struggling with that.
And they were really fun to talk to, and I think because you were so comfortable with them, you were able to make them a lot easier. Yeah. And you're smiling. Can you move your head?
Sorry. I'm just like.
I'm like trying to talk to her.
I'm sorry.
I just love your smile. And I think that brightens
And like, I feel like you're the perfect candidate to be a CA, and that's what you do because you're so.
Your nomination.
Nominate Margaret. Okay. Anyway, on to Chris.
Oh.
Okay, Chris. One thing that I think we all noticed is you were always on time or early, which is so. I need to learn from that. And you just came in with such a genuine interest into the community, which I think showed a lot, especially because you have still been attending River Valley events after the project is done, which is really cool that you were just so interested and you keep having that interest. And you also went to multiple events. Like, I went to the bare minimum because life is crazy, but you were like so on top of it and went to everything, which was really cool. The one improvement I would say is really early on in the project, the planning assignment.
Yep.
You kind of lacked on that, but you definitely made up for it later. So.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. No, and she's right. I mean, I definitely did not pull my weight on the planning assignment. So in the future, I'll try to plan better. So
Like plan your time better.
yeah, plan my time better, right? Exactly. Then yeah, I mean, coming into this project, I mean, like you said, like I've definitely had an interest in this community, and seeing as like Margaret volunteered as the liaison and. Liaison. I'm sorry.
You got it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was interested in the community that was offered, and I don't know. I think I've been trying to. I don't know.
Don't cry.
No, I'm not.
Just trying to find God.
No. Yeah. Taking ownership.
On that note, I think that's something you do really well, is you're the first person to admit, yeah, I did not pull my weight in this assignment.
The first thing Chris said was, was I did not do the planning assignment, and on our group meeting, he's like, hey, I'm real sorry, but from here on, I'm going to try my best and, do as much as I can. And I think he definitely made up for it. Like Megan said, like he's always there on time. And you went to both of the services. You stop laughing.
No. I was, as you're saying this. No. I appreciate this, and you reminded me of Megan's first point because I completely forgot, and that's why I was fumbling your words there for a little bit. I do try to be on time because I think being on time is really important.
Yeah.
My dad always told me better 10 minutes early than 10 minutes late. And I think that goes for anything. It can be this or whatever else. It doesn't really matter. But I think it's always better to be a little bit early. So, I try to be early, so I appreciate you for recognizing that.
One more side comment that I thought was really cool. I just remembered this off the top of my head. After we went to the 1-to-1, you were like, "Oh, does anyone need a ride?" And that just showed you were so open and comfortable with everybody and willing to help others. So that was really nice. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Chris also picked up my friends and I for Easter service.
Oh yeah.
Willing to go
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they went to church on Easter together.
We did.
That's what came
What a group.
Also, shout out to Chris for being the only guy in this group.
Yeah.
And dealing with our crazy, and he just was or my crazy, I guess, I don't know. He was it's cool, and he was really, really cool about it.
Yeah, no, it's been a really fun project. I did pick you guys up for Easter too. That was really cool. I've enjoyed this, honestly. I really have. I'm really happy to have found a church. So.
In general, I think our group really worked well together, and we had great chemistry in our group. I guess we kind of all, right off the bat, got along. When we were kind of falling short, or when we weren't on topic, we were able to kind of say to each other, we need to get back on track here because otherwise we'll be here for 12 hours. I don't know. In general, I think we had a really successful group.
Yeah.
Especially since we were the first group to go to present, I think we overthought everything because we hadn't seen anyone else. So we were kind of not frustrated, but worried. And I think we did a really good job just working together, and especially I was panicking before the presentation. I got really nervous, and everyone's like, "I'll be fine" or whatever. So that reason.
Oh, I was gonna say this feedback assignment was kind of hard for me because it's I felt we all worked so well together, and the things that we pointed out are kind of minuscule things. So
Right.
it's just it was such a positive group experience. Literally one of the best groups I've ever been in because everyone pulled their weight, and we just worked really well together. And every time we met, it was fun. I didn't dread coming to these meetings.
Yeah. I think our friendship then built trust between us, so then you could hold each other accountable. We all felt you didn't even have to hold each other accountable because we all felt that responsibility to the group to do the work. So we do the work because we cared about each other, and then since we cared about each other, it was fun.
And side note, with that trust, we were able to have dissent because we felt comfortable enough with each other that we could be I don't know, what about this? And sometimes I feel in a big class setting, we can't do that, but when we're all so close, we just bounce ideas off each other and we don't even realize it.
It's kind of fun how we notice now that it's dissent because we always talk in class about how we need to find more and demonstrate more dissent. So it's been kind of fun outside of class finding dissent.
Go
within our
dissent.
group.
Yeah, and then I think we did, as far as I noticed, we didn't really have any conflict, which in a group, especially if it's we didn't work together all semester. But we worked with each other for 2 months, I think. So we didn't really have any conflict because, you guys were saying, we all trusted each other and we got along really well.
Positive
Signing off.
First, let me log in.
See you at the final.